happens back here?
Everybody follow me.
It's legendary.
Just like boom.
Unbelievable.
How many places are you going to go and see a green horse?
We are having a blast.
Double nut mustard ketchup.
This is the way we do it.
Delicious.
I think it's going to work out.
Welcome to this special edition of the Tar Heel Traveler. I'm Scott Mason. Pies, cakes, cookies, candies, jellies. A special that celebrates North Carolina products, the sweet and spicy. Dessert first, a pie company in Raleigh.
I have never had a pie like this in my life.
I believe this is the best pie in the world.
The best pie in the world, but it's just him and her.
Typically just crimp them with my fingers.
And they're making pies in a little room over the garage.
We converted this whole place into a kitchen.
And when you put that in your mouth, it just pops. It's like, wow.
The pie really does pop. It pulses, the heartbeat of the pie.
I know good pie when I taste it.
He knows good pie when he makes it.
See how delicate it is?
Lemon meringue.
If you do 1,000,000 of them, you get pretty good at it.
Michael Mullins and his daughter, Kristen.
Apple, mixed berry, cherry, lemon chess, chocolate chess. We have about 22 flavors. We ship to pretty much every state in the country.
From above the garage, it's the Slice Pie Company in Raleigh.
I find sleeping very boring.
No time for sleep.
We've made something from nothing.
They made a whole company from a casual conversation.
There were a couple of holidays sitting down at the table and I'd say, we really should do something with this.
Do something with her dad's talent for making pies, which he learned from his great-grandmother.
I would walk from grade school to her house for lunch every day.
And eat pie, homemade pie.
We are legitimately rolling out the apples and cutting them up. I mean, everything's being freshly put into the pie.
Why do you want mediocrity? That's not what we do.
I felt this desire to do something bigger.
So did he. Michael is an ordained minister.
To make a pie this good, you have to have some divine intervention. Sailing ships that I can sculpt, pumpkins, trees, guitars, and we've got attics for coconut cream.
It has turned into something bigger than we ever expected.
Much bigger than filling and crust, bigger even than the pie. It's the gift of the pie.
I've had them break down crying. You leave there saying, that person's really blessed, and they haven't even eaten the pie yet. Everyone is gifted with some divine blessing, and when you find it, bless other people with it.
Wilmington and the Cape Fear, with its history of pirates and rum, which make for some intriguing ingredients.
I mix all my ingredients up, dry, wet.
Wet rum. Can you taste the rum?
Oh, absolutely.
Rum cake. Do you like rum?
I do. Who doesn't?
Cape Fear rum cake.
I'm glazing the top of the cake.
Straight out of the oven.
Just the way Grandma would have done it.
Angela and Danny are doing it.
The best is when they leave and they buy one and then they come back. It's like, we ate this down the street and we have to come back and buy 3.
3 different sizes.
Do you like A, B, or C?
More than 20 different flavors. Do you have a favorite one?
Coconut. Coconut, definitely. Flavored with coconut rum.
Rum.
We wake up and we go, we bake rum cake. This is great.
Yes, that's what they do all day in downtown Wilmington.
I have a customer in Ireland.
They ship their rum cakes all over the world.
The rum's a natural preservative, and that's in the batter and the glaze.
And vacuum sealed.
The vacuum seal just locks everything in and keeps it super moist.
Had you ever even had a rum cake before?
Puerto Rican. I've had my share of rum cake. Yes, my 19th birthday was at the Bacardi factory in Puerto Rico. Just never thought that that would be the thing that I would end up doing, you know.
Danny and Angela met in art school in Florida.
I thought we met at the dorms.
Well, we met at the dorms, but we had the same class together.
We did have that class.
It was a class in communications.
That's the important part of working with your spouse, is the communication.
You gotta talk.
It was always a good mix, even when they decided to dump everything.
We sold everything, put all our money in a bank, bought an RV, and just traveled for about 11 months.
It was crazy. We'd break down on mountains. But through all of that, it was the greatest time ever.
They wound up in Wilmington.
Back in Wilmington. How did that happen?
Angela grew up in Canada, but spent summers around Wilmington.
We like it, so we stayed.
Then we fell into the rum cake business.
They were gonna dissolve the company, just stop it, and we were like, we'll take it.
And now they make it. But it was a little scary at first.
Totally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally.
It's like growing up in 3 seconds.
Cape Fear Rum Cake. All for rum and rum for all.
We've learned how little amount of sleep we can run on for an entire month.
Yeah. You can do anything. You just gotta put your head down and work.
Hard work. A hard-working family from Chatham County, from the tiny town of Bear Creek, is sweetly rewarded by the fruit of their labor.
So now we said it's a nutty cake. It is that.
The cake is just great.
Nutty, and not just fruitcake.
Cinnamon pecans, pecan pralines, maple crispy peanuts.
And chocolate.
All done by hand.
In the beginning, it was all done in the garage.
Did you have any idea what you were on to?
Oh, no, never. No.
The showroom. Fruitcake.
That's part of coming to fruitcake place is having something to eat.
Ferta.
Didn't realize we'd ever get out of the garage, but we kept planning. Every year we'd plan and plan.
And bake and sell out of their fruitcake. So in 1990, the family built their first real fruitcake building.
And was that just a small building?
Yeah, small building. And I thought, well, gosh, that's plenty for a fruitcake.
It was in a cow pasture.
I said, nobody will ever come see us over here in this cow pasture.
But people did come to the cow pasture.
Started adding on.
Added on 7 or 8 times.
And they get out of the cars and they say, man, we finally found it.
And they sure can smell it.
Our mixing bowl, it holds literally 300 pounds of cake batter at one time.
Where does the product go? All over the country?
All over the country.
And beyond.
Maybe going somewhere in England. I think it's very rewarding.
Rewarding, too, because Southern Supreme fruitcake is made with a special ingredient, besides nuts and fruit, and that's family.
First cousin Ronnie, my Aunt Dixie, we got another cousin, this is his daughter, so we've definitely been blessed.
Here's my husband. We couldn't have made it without him moving his fence back, building these buildings.
She means the cow pasture fence.
Do you come every year? Or
Yes, I do.
And they'll keep coming till the cows come home.
We still got a few cows on the back side, but we'd like to take it all.
It's a lab coat, and this the production facility for Chapel Hill Toffee.
Over 290 degrees.
Spread it.
And then it's time to cut it.
Cut it quick.
As soon as possible, because it hardens quite quickly.
A lot of people tell us, oh, I don't make toffee anymore since I can buy yours.
Theirs is Chapel Hill Toffee in the blue box, Carolina blue. And look at that. Rich, chocolatey brown.
Covered in chocolate and pecans.
A delicious assembly.
A perfect blend of butter, sugar, and pecans.
Really a nice feeling to know that your work is going to make somebody happy.
How does it taste?
Real good.
Another batch.
Pouring it, cutting it, putting chocolate on it.
Just like they used to do at home.
It started in my kitchen.
Oh, their poor kitchen.
All the walls in the kitchen ceiling turned yellow from the steam of the butter and the sugar.
So we took my mom's dining room table out, we took the carpets out.
Oh, their poor dining room.
My dining room was turned into a chocolate factory.
Bought a little chocolate machine and we were up and running.
And selling.
Started to take it out to stores.
The local store that needed a quick order.
And then they called back and says, actually, can you double it? And it was the largest order we'd ever seen, and then they doubled it.
I'd just been making it at home forever.
But home wouldn't do anymore. They needed a factory.
It's amazing how fast it's grown and all that. It's just unbelievable.
Chapel Hill Toffee started in 2006 in Chapel Hill. But today it's made at the plant in Durham. Did you have to design a logo?
Yes, we did everything.
We came out with our Carolina blue boxes.
Soon after UNC won the National Men's Basketball Championship in 2009.
Sales skyrocketed.
I never ever thought it would go this far.
Making sure that it has the right crunch.
Mark had been a banker. Are you glad you didn't go back into banking?
I am.
Yeah, I get to see my boys every day.
but not her husband.
He went in for back surgery and a few days later developed a blood clot and passed away unexpectedly.
Griff.
To me, it's an honor to put his name on the box.
You think the product can go nationwide?
Yes.
Oh, yes, yes, I do.
Long day.
More toffee, and no doubt, more awards. So it really is a family business.
It really is.
I like it.
I was on the retirement slide.
I wish I could keep up with my mom.
It's really very rewarding. I still enjoy the taste of it. It is special.
Order Tar Heel Traveler books at thetarheeltraveler.com. Books that celebrate the state. Copies autographed and personalized at thetarheeltraveler.com. Welcome back to this special edition of the Tar Heel Traveler featuring foods made in North Carolina, foods sweet and spicy. We stay with the sweet in Benson, Miss Debbie's Specialty Apples.
It's caramel rolled in peanut butter chips.
Yum, and look, there's some more.
We have a s'mores, we have a super ginormagantic. That one's, it's like this big.
Sweet and tart.
And you want the tart to go with the sweet, otherwise it would be too sweet.
Different. They're different.
Apples with M&Ms, coated with crumbles, hot pink, chocolate, Oreo, dunked in caramel, twirl, drizzle.
People slice them and you get all those flavors together. It just all blends. It's just perfect.
Debbie, Miss Debbie's Specialty Apples. Debbie and David.
A lot of people will come up there and call me Mr. Debbie, though.
Mr. Debbie the Dunker.
Oh, it's a ball. I love it.
A caramel-covered ball.
I think it's great. It's in my backyard.
Debbie and David's home in Benson with the apple shop out back.
It's a family name and family product, and I think that customers like that.
Daughter Chelsea has always liked to experiment. Always had a nose for the kitchen. Her little boy, too. The apple of her eye.
And whether once you come to, if you guys sweet too.
We've been making apples, caramel apples, for over 40 years.
But in the beginning, apples a little bit boring.
All we made was plain and peanut. But she says, I want you to roll me a dozen of these caramel apples in pecans.
That's how it started. It was just playing.
And then it just went from there. Now we have over 150 different types.
And adding more all the time.
And adding and adding and adding. You know, a lot of it's trial and error, but when you're messing with chocolate, like, you don't really have a whole lot of error.
Where do these apples go?
All over, all 50 states.
Most all of them stay fresh 3 weeks on the shelf, 2 months in the fridge. We have a Butterfinger.
It's a different gift. It's not a country ham.
It's a Granny Smith, a granny who gets a bath and a makeover. And isn't she pretty? Sweet, sweet Granny. Sure is special.
It must be a good feeling to put a smile on people's faces.
And chocolate can do that.
Our camera captures the action at a candy factory in Nashville, North Carolina. But what it cannot capture is the smell.
It smells like something sweet's going on in here.
Almost makes your eyes water. She is happy. The candy makes her happy.
Just the beauty of it.
Peach buds, lemon buds, cherry.
Watching those little buds come off the conveyor like little gems.
Watching, smelling. The candy factory in Nash County, Butterfields, with the catchy slogan.
Yeah, disappearing from candy jars since 1924.
The whole factory, you can smell it outside.
Water, sugar, corn syrup.
You pour it on our cooling table here.
And it becomes like lava.
You start mixing it up.
And stretching it out.
It's gonna pull this out till it's a solid white.
Peppermint.
The flavor, the color.
The red candy cane stripe. How do you like doing all this?
It's fun, I love it. What's wrong with coming to Candy Factory and being Willy Wonka all day?
I had been looking to do something. I come from a long line of entrepreneurs myself.
She came from Honduras, was raised there, but went to school at NC State in Raleigh.
Different generations took over, different families took over.
The Candy Company, since 1924, closed in 2009.
It was literally abandoned. They were saying, hey lady, you're not going to make any candy in there.
But she had remembered the candy, that once popular hard candy, flavorful and so meaningful.
And my mother, while she was undergoing chemotherapy, she loved the lemon buds and the peach because when you're undergoing chemo, your sense of taste and smell goes away. And this candy's so flavorful. It's one of the few things that she could actually keep in her mouth.
Dina's mother passed away in 1997, and maybe it was fate that flickered nearly 15 years later.
And it was just like, oh my gosh, my mother loved those candies.
The buds.
We came out here, we looked at the machines, and we thought, you know, we can do this. We can fix these machines up and get them back running.
They're running. Willy Wonka.
People got to eat candy.
It's the lost art of candy making.
True to the fruit almost.
Key lime, ginger, Honeybell.
It's been wonderful. Every day. I love it when the phone rings and somebody calls and says, thank you for bringing those peach buds back.
Wonderful, beautiful, meaningful. What do you think your mom would think of all this?
Oh, she would think this was wonderful. I know that she's up there clapping right now.
And maybe breathing in the sweet, sweet smell. The smell of success.
Thank you.
The Winston-Salem area is well known for Moravian culture, and the town of Clemens for Moravian cookies.
It's all that love we put in them.
That's what makes them taste so good.
And all that sugar.
Cookies.
Black walnut cookies.
Mrs. Haynes' Moravian cookies.
Butterscotch, lemon, chocolate. And they get thin like you see over here on Jackie's pan.
Thin cookies.
Yes, pretty thin.
Ginger crisps.
We sell more ginger than we do anything else. Use the right amount of flour.
Treat it very gently.
Or strenuously.
The more you knead it, the better it looks.
It looks like another sweet day at the Cookie Company in Clemens. Cookies handmade.
Exactly the same way my grandmother made them.
Her grandmother, Bertha. Bertha was her mother.
Well, it began in my mother's kitchen.
Around a stove.
A stove exactly like this one.
With blocks beneath the feet.
And I would slide down underneath the stove, suck my bottle, and go to sleep while she made cookies.
But no one made a Moravian sugar cookie until my grandmother.
Who was Moravian.
They were the first Protestant denomination. The Moravians were known for their cooking.
And this little home became known for its cookies. And soon the popular cookies took over the home.
Then we took it to our home and our kitchen.
When I was growing up, we made them in our upstairs kitchen. We made them in a downstairs kitchen.
But everything in your house smelled like cookies. You didn't have to tell people who you were. When you walked into the bank or somewhere, there's, here comes the cookie woman or the cookie man.
And finally, we all got tired of smelling like cookies.
So they built a cookie plant in the family's Forsyth County cow pasture. And since 1970 have added on half a dozen times.
Oh, we ship them all over the world.
It's amazing that they go all over the world.
Well, I think it's wonderful, but I still can't believe it.
She is Mrs. Haynes, Mrs. Haynes' Moravian Cookies. And don't forget Mr. Haynes.
We said he was a cookie with a personality.
A thin cookie.
You try to get the ginger cookie as thin as you can.
These cookies are famous, and the famous have enjoyed the cookies.
Because they're so thin and crisp.
Thin, yes, but what a wide smile. Just one of those favorite things.
Wonderful. I still love the cookies.
They're all delicious, and they're all very unique.
I love that. I love that there's nobody else like us in the world.
Welcome back to this special edition of the Tar Heel Traveler, featuring North Carolina-made products that are sweet and spicy. And now the spicy, made in Duplin County in Warsaw, salsa.
It's almost done.
Yep, it's bubbling, steaming, a little more stirring. Salsa.
It's got mango pulp in it. It's got strawberry pulp in it.
Of course, it's got tomatoes and onions and peppers in it.
We've got the smoke in it.
But no G in it.
Yes, with an apostrophe. No G, just tasting Jamaican.
Mild, medium, hot, different.
Marty came up with all of the recipes.
Yeah, I've always loved to cook.
Melissa and Marty, back in 1997, they had a family. And they grew a garden.
We were only doing it to use the tomatoes out of our garden.
Making salsa.
Good old mango.
Marty started experimenting.
And came up with the most amazing recipe.
And so we just gave it away as gifts.
Everybody just raved about it and said, you need to sell this. And we said, do you know how many salsas there are out there? We'd never make it.
But they kept making it, and making it hotter, nuclear, lethal, and they kept taking requests.
Can you do a mild? Can you do one with black beans and corn in it? And we said, sure we could.
But could they?
It's a lot more than people think. It can be rather labor intensive.
How many hours of sleep did you get last night?
3. We never intended to have a business.
They started small.
We decided to try an event.
And what a hot seller it was.
And everybody was asking us, where am I going to be able to get this? We went, oh, don't really know, but we'll let you know about that.
Tasting Jamaican with the apostrophe, but without much sleep.
Can you believe all this has happened?
No.
International awards. First place, first place, first place.
It has been unbelievable, actually, selling a salsa that's an international favorite. Everybody that comes up to try it tells us how good it is.
You know, we cook with it. We make our own pizza with this.
Salsa instead of pizza sauce.
And I put a little bit of brown sugar in it.
That's what people have come to love, is that we do it ourselves.
But it's a lot to do.
Has it all been worth getting just 3 hours of sleep a night?
It has been.
Spicy and sweet. The sweet and spicy come together in Wake Forest, in the home of Peggy Rose.
I enjoy going to the stores that when I walk in, they say, "We are so glad to see you."
Hello, Peggy. Hello, Peggy Rose's Sweet Pepper Jelly.
And that was your first one?
Uh-huh.
Peggy Rose's Hot Pepper Jelly. Her cranberry pepper and champagne mustard. Spoon some on a cracker.
Or a bagel in the mornings, just like you would a fruit jelly.
Peggy lives in Wake Forest, and Peggy Rose's jellies are, whoa, deliciously bright and beautiful.
Who's that?
That's little Peggy Rose.
She grew up on a farm in Johnston County.
But you did not waste things. So whatever you had, you learned to put it up some way.
She learned from her family to can and jar. Peggy was Miss Smithfield 1962, and then she became a teacher in Raleigh.
We'd make it and sell it in the lounge.
Her jellies in the teacher's lounge.
I sold it for $1.50 a jar.
That was in the mid-'70s.
I guess they liked the jelly.
Yes, must have.
Because she kept selling the jelly and making the jelly.
I was for 35 years. I made it in my kitchen.
She finally put her name on the label in 2009 and created Peggy Rose's Jellies. Then began carrying her jellies to gift shops and gourmet stores.
Then we walked in and we said, "We understand you want local product. Here it is."
And here they are, the ribbons she's won, the accolades she's earned.
You have to take a chance.
It takes the right ingredients.
You have to remember to have confidence in yourself and pick up your chin and go on.
Her jellies have gone on to sell in stores in several southern states. Southern cooking makes you good looking.
Are the jellies good?
Oh, yeah, of course they are.
Good North Carolina made products, the sweet and spicy. We hope you've enjoyed this special edition of the Tar Heel Traveler. We'll see you again next time down the road. I'm Scott Mason, the Tar Heel Traveler. Books at thetarheeltraveler.com. Books that celebrate the state. Copies autographed and personalized at thetarheeltraveler.com.